So hi everyone, good morning and good evening. So guys, my name is Sahitya and I'm gonna be your trainer for MCSA, and we are going to learn various roles and features under this MCSA course, right? And a brief introduction about me. I am working as a system administrator from last 6 years, and so let's start. So guys, what MCSA is and what we are going to cover in this course and how we are going to perform our labs. So first of all guys, whenever we are talking about the Windows server, we are going to perform our practicals on a very industry based experiences, like like how industries are working, how industries are deploying their servers into their environment, how industries are building their infrastructure. We are going to talk about all these things. Okay, so first of all, we are not here for the certification thing, as we all knows that Microsoft 2006 Microsoft has obsoleted its certificate, MCSA certificate. So it is not available on the Microsoft website, but it is not available on the Microsoft website. But still, why do you want to learn this course? Why do you want to learn the servers, right? So just a second, let me just open my Paint. MCSA. Why to learn this course? As we all knows that cloud computing is expanding day by day, right? In terms of, like, if we are talking about Microsoft, then Azure cloud is just expanding day by day, right? So MCSA is going to be the base of your Azure, Microsoft Azure, that is 900 or 104 as a admin, right? So if we are talking about cloud computing, or if we are talking about Azure, so in that case we must have knowledge of servers, so that we'll be able to perform, or we'll be able to create infrastructure, or we'll be able to create multiple virtual machine under the cloud, right? So I am talking about, like, why MCS is required. If we need to go for Azure, or if we need to go for even AWS as well, so we must have knowledge of MCSA. We must have knowledge of servers. We must have knowledge of every roles and features that is available in server. And this is what we are going to cover in this course.
So we can't do the Azure before MCSA. That's what you mean?
Amit, let me tell you frankly, if you have already experience in MCSA server, then it will be an add-on feature for you. It will be an add-on, like, you can grab Azure very easily, right? Azure is basically a console.
Okay.
Okay, you must be able to run that console, but under that console you must have knowledge of MCSA.
So what about CCNA? Do you need CCNA?
CCNA, a very basic knowledge of CCNA, like how you can connect virtual machines, how you can able to communicate with the virtual machine. In that case, there is a basic knowledge is required,
Okay.
right? But if you are going for the Azure network fundamental exams, in that case CCNA is required.
Okay.
But here we are just talking about Azure administrator only, that is 104.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
So if you are going for Azure certification, we must have knowledge of Windows server, right? So let me show you how we are going to perform our practicals and how we will be able to complete our labs. So first of all, as I told you that we are not talking about certification as it is not available on Microsoft website, right? So we are just going to cover like whatever the feature is in this MCSA is, we are going to cover all the features, right? So in the very beginning, when this exam was there was three exam you need to certify. That is 740, 741, and 742. So after completing three exams, you will get the certification. But for now, you just need know to go for this exam. You just directly go to the Azure certification, right? Then these are the basically some certification advantages. If you have some certification, then obviously you will get the your chances of getting hired is very much high as compared if someone do not have any certification. Even myself, I am carrying MCSA certification and Azure 104 certification. So it basically helps you to get the job. It basically helps you to like even nowadays HR as your HR or Naukri portals, they are what they are doing. They are just looking for the peoples who do have certifications, right? So what is server? Server is basically a computer that provides resources, data services, or programs. Okay, before going to this slide, we are just going to see what we are going to cover in this course. What are the roles we are going to learn in this course? See, this is basically course outline where we have defined whatever the roles we are going to install in our servers that are totally explained in this brochure, right? So first of all, install and manage Windows Server Core, then KMS, then creating virtual hard disk, or through even PowerShell as well. We are going to cover some PowerShell topics, a very touch base of PowerShell, then configuring storage pools, implement and configure data deduplication, then creating virtual machine, manage Windows containers, DR, disaster recovery, failover clustering, network load balancing, manage and monitor Windows Server by using Windows Admin Center. This is basically to monitor your servers, how your servers are behaving in your infrastructure. By this, what we can do, we can monitor our server whether if server is if any server is having any kind of issue. Through this service, we can locate it. We can get the information that some node is just having some issue with the network card or some operating system issue is there, right? From this role we can do that. Then it's 741 exam. It covers your DSCP server, DSCP relay agent, and even DSCP relay agent, and then IPAM services, DNS zones, DFS, then NPS. So these are basically you will get the brochure, and we are going to cover all the services. We are going to configure all the services which are mentioned in this brochure. And these are totally your going to be the industry based experience, how industries are working. Okay, and for implementing the practicals, how we are going to perform our practicals. So basically guys, there is a term that is called virtualization. So by virtualization, what we can do, we can create multiple virtual machine under a single hardware. And for running virtualization in your environment, there are some hypervisors available in the market which we can install in our system. For example, it's VMware, then it's HyperV, which is the product of Microsoft itself. Then we have VirtualBox, and apart from this, we do have networking's virtual lab as well available. Okay, so by these softwares, what we can do, we can create multiple virtual machine so that we'll be able to install multiple softwares, multiple configurations. If I'm talking about a company, in that case, there are multiple servers available like this. The diagram will be like this. You will be having a domain controller plus DNS server, then file server, then mail server, then web plus FTP server, then DHCP server, then application servers. So what we can do, we can create all these we can create virtual machine in a single server by using virtualization, right? So that
Is this the biggest setup we usually have in MNCs?
this is basically an example you can take it as, right? This is just example. There must be a bigger picture in real time scenarios. We'll be
Okay.
having around it will be possible that we'll be having around 50s virtual machine in a company running. It totally depends the size of the company, and it totally depends how many employees are in the company, right?
Okay. So would you be giving a cla- class case study, something like that?
A case study, what we can do, we can just work as a company. We can create our practicals as a company, like how companies are working. So we do not have
Okay.
any kind of case studies, but yes, you will get the PDF of Windows Server 2016 like this. So this is basically the book. Under this book, there is 740, 741, and 742 exam is there. And in this book, everything is there. Everything is there. You will get the even review questions as well. Like if you want to check your knowledge, right? You can review these questions and you can resolve it by your own.
Okay.
You will get the exercises available, right? Once you configure the DHCP server in your environment, so in that case, what you can do, you can just resolve the exercises available under DHCP topic.
Mhm.
See, this is basically WSUS, and under this WSUS, what you can do, these are some of the exercises available. So you can perform this exercise, but if you are having any kind of issue, you can directly come to me. Then definitely we'll resolve it out.
What's WSUS?
This is basically Windows Server Update Services, right? So through this service, what you can do, you can create a central server like this. You can create a central server and you will install and you will configure WSUS service, that is Windows Server Update Services. right? So what Microsoft does is Microsoft releases their patches on every second Tuesday of the month, right? And once Microsoft releases the patches, it is a responsibility of your system administrator to make your server or make your clients in your environment up to date. In that case, WSUS helps out. What you can do, you can just download all the patches under your WSUS server, and whatever the client will be connected to this server, this machine, like whether it is Windows 10, whether it is Windows 7, or whether it is a server, you can push the patches through this server. There is no need to go onto the Microsoft website. Just you get the download, you download the patches into your WSUS servers, and then under local network, what you can do, you can push these patches to the client machines. So basically WSUS servers, this is, got it?
Yeah, okay.
Right? And even in real time as well, this happens. You need to do this so that no one will be able to hack your servers. Okay.
Yeah.
So after once you get enrolled, you will get the PDF version of Windows 2016, right? And even there are multiple servers available now. Even if we are talking about Windows server, see, the latest version is 2022. So if you want to learn on 2022, we can do that, right? We have various flavor of operating system, that is 2022, 2019, then 2016, then 2022, 2012 R2. It totally depends on you that on what flavor of operating system you want to work on. It totally depends on you, right?
So if there's no exams, MCSA exams available,
Mhm.
uh, which is a preferable?
Preferable will be go for Azure cloud, Azure
Oh,
cloud.
so you no need to MCSA, but learn MCSA. Is that
Learn
it?
MCSA, yes. This is basically the base,
Okay. So don't go for MCSA, but go for the Azure exam.
right?
After learning this, do go for Azure and then give the Azure exam. Is that right?
Right, right, right.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So basically, if you have Azure certification, then it is like interviewer will be able to get that yes, you have the knowledge of servers. You are able to configure the roles and features. You have experience on servers. They'll get it by you, right? Okay. Then we have multiple operating system, that is 22, 2019, 2016. It totally depends on which version we want to work on, right? For now we are using 2016, but yes, in later on, if you want to work on 19 or 2022, we can do that. There will not an issue. Okay.
Hey, Sahitya, hi. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, Ankur, you're audible, please.
Yeah, thank you. So, Sahitya, I have one question.
Mhm.
Because I feel that I have a lot of difficulty in in grasping the concept of Active Directory. So I just wanted to know that how deeply your sessions would be centered around the Active Directory, because there are so many things, ADDS, there are join, and if we are talking about the Azure, there is also so many services which binds together like password hash authentication, and there are so many other things related to Azure Active Directory. or Active Directory in general, right?
Mhm.
So how deeply your sessions are going to be centered around the Active Directory, because if I'm going to go for this session, my focus is going to be on Active Directory, because that is something that I would like to be mastered on. That is
Mhm.
something that I lack
Mhm.
currently. And
Mhm.
also talking about the different kind of servers, like you mentioned that we have live servers, sorry, file server, we have different kind of server in an organization.
Right.
Now, recently I came across something like a license server, a RAID server, and there are n number of servers available,
Right.
right?
Got it.
So, how are you going to distinguish? Like, are you going to take on those topics and discuss it in the session or demonstrate over it? So, I just wanted to have a better understanding how and then how the explanation is going to be like from now on if we enroll for this for this program.
Sure, sure, sure. So, Ankur, let us talk about the AD first, right? If you want to learn AD, then definitely we are going to start it from the very scratch, and even our AD lectures will going to have around 8 hours of session. Like we are going to cover 8 hours for Active Directory only, right? I am not sure what kind of issues you are facing on AD, but yes, we are going to discuss. We will definitely open to discuss whatever the kind of issues you are facing on your Active Directories. First, second, you talked about RAID and file servers. Yes, we are going to configure RAID as well, but in our practicals we can configure software RAID, not hardware RAID, because we don't have like infrastructure available for the hardware RAID. But the terminology is same, the process is same, right? We are just going to cover it on it as software RAID. Apart from this, every feature of like file server, we are not going to cover mail exchange server here because it is not included in this course. But yes, apart from this, we are going to cover SCCM, that is Software Center Configuration Manager. This is basically the add-on service which you are going to learn under MCSA.
Yeah, CCM would be a great thing, because in my current organization,
Yeah,
they have a CCM installed, and it is kind of there to manage and to just for the alerts
right,
of the
right,
servers.
right. So, what
So
you
I'm
can do
also
through
interested for that.
SCCM,
Yeah.
you can even you can do patching, you can deploy operating system to the clients. You can install software through SCCM to the clients. So there are multiple features available in SCCM. We are going to
Hmm.
cover SCCM as well. We are going to perform SCCM lab in this course. Don't worry.
And also, Sahitya, how are we gonna go about labs? Like, are we getting any subscription from Azure, or maybe like do we need to install the uh, softwares like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
mentioned
Let me
VMware or
let me
VirtualBox?
explain. Yeah, let me explain. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, we were talking about virtualization, and we were talking about hypervisors. So how we are going to cover our labs, or how we are going to configure our labs? There are multiple options available. We can use VMware, we can use Hyper-V, we can use VirtualBox, and we can use Networking's virtual lab as well.
So for how long we can use these labs?
This you can check with team. I think during this course, like you can use these labs till 50 hours, I believe. But you can check with team for this, right? If you want some more time, then definitely you can request them, you can raise a ticket, and you will get the access.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. So VMware Hyper-V is a basically product of Microsoft. If you are running Windows 10, Win 10 Pro version in your laptop, In that case, you just need to go turn Windows feature on or off. This is I'm talking about Hyper-V only. Okay, so if you are running Windows 10 Pro version, in that case, you just need to check this box, Hyper-V. Okay, so after checking this box, okay, your system will get restarted, and after the restart, what you can see virtual Hyper-V installed in your system. See, I have already enabled this one, so you will get the console of Hyper-V like this. If you have a good configuration of laptop with you, then definitely I would recommend to use these softwares, because in networking labs there are already virtual machines are created. You just need to play it on, that's it. But in this case, we are going to install operating system from the very beginning. How we can install Windows Server, or how we can configure virtual machines under a single hardware. Okay, so I would recommend to use Hyper-V or VMware. These are basically Hyper-V is available with your system, but if you have Windows 10 home version, in that case, I'll give you a script. You just need to run this script in your system and Hyper-V will get installed. If you want to work on VMware, then it's totally fine, no worries. You can download VMware, download VMware Pro. So you just need to download Workstation 16 Pro for Windows. I am pasting this link in your chat. You can download it by your own, no worries. Okay, and after downloading this software, I'll give you a key so that you can activate this software, right? So by default, you will get the 30-day license to use this software, but I'll give you a key and you can activate your software, right? And then, so after installing Hyper-V, I'm just giving a scenario that how will it gonna be. That let's suppose this one is my base machine. This one is my laptop. So under this laptop, what it is, Windows 10 is installed. Operating system Windows 10 is installed. So on the top of this operating system, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install virtual machine, VMware, Hyper-V, or VirtualBox. And under this software, this will gonna be your, let's suppose, VMware. Right, and under this software, what I'm gonna do, I am gonna create multiple virtual machines. Let's suppose this one is my domain controller, this one will be my DHCP server, this one will be my file server, this one will be my WDS, Windows Deployment Services, this one will be my WSUS. So under one software, what we can do, we can create multiple virtual machine. And even guys, in real time scenario as well, companies are using virtualization, because in this case, no additional resources are required. But if you are configuring multiple hardware, in that case you will be requiring multiple resources,
So as
right?
we go, are we going to install all these servers on a laptop or computer, and we're gonna use it as we go in the class
Exactly.
as the topic comes up? Is that right?
Right, it totally depends on topic. Whatever we are topic going to learn, we will configure a virtual machine for that.
Okay, separate machine, and then we'll talk the machine to machine. Is that
Machine to machine. Yes.
okay? Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So I was giving you example of VMware. So I do have VMware installed in my system. See, under this software, what I have configured multiple virtual machine, and these all virtual machines are able to communicate with each other. Okay. So how we, after configuring or after installing hypervisor in your system, first we'll be needing ISO images of your Windows server and of, we are obviously we are using clients as well, so we will install we will download Windows 10 ISO image as well. So these are freely available on Microsoft website. You just need to type download Windows Server 2016 or whatever kind of operating system you want to download. So let's suppose we are downloading 16. So under this, you need to select ISO and then continue. So here you can put this name. If you want to put it exactly, then it totally depends on you. So I am just giving you example how we can do that. Country select India. Sorry. And now continue. Select the language, in which language you want to download the server operating system. So we need to select English and then download. Right. So after downloading this, you just need to go your VMware and you need to select new virtual machine, then next, next, again next. So we need to select Microsoft Windows and then 16, 19 or 12, whatever we are installing. Okay, then select Windows 16, again next. You can rename your sorry, you can rename your virtual machine. Let's suppose I renamed it as server 4, then next. UEFI, this I will explain you everything, don't worry. Okay, for now we just need to understand that I am going to boot it from UEFI firmware. Then again next. Number of processor, number of core processor. For now we need not to bother about this, but once we are going to configure our virtual machine under a server, in that case we need to select processor and we need to select the core of the processor. I will explain everything. Okay, so for now we need not to bother. Then again next. So we can select the RAM size depending upon the RAM size of your hardware. So let's suppose if I have 16 GB of RAM, I can assign around 2 GB RAM to a virtual machine. Right? For running a Windows server, I think 2048 is more than enough for in our case. But if we are talking about industry, then yes, it would be higher. It could be around 16 GB. Right? Because in that case, we'll be needing the performance, high performance. Okay, so company what does is they buy around a server which are having RAMs of around 256 GB. So under that 256 GB of RAM, they can assign the RAM size according to the performance, according to the role depending your role installing in the server. It totally depends on that. Okay, so I am assigning 2048 for now. Then next. So this is basically the network type. Okay, for now I'm giving it as a use host only networking, because I just want these virtual machines will be able to communicate with each other. In that case, I'm just going to assign use host only networking. But yes, if I want to communicate with my base machine, in that case, I'll select use bridge network. But for now, I am just isolating it from my base machine. Okay, I'm just creating a local network for my virtual machines only. In that case, I need to select use host only. Then next, this is basically a virtual disk type. If you have SSD available in your laptop, then you can select NVMe. If not, then SATA will be recommended. Okay, then again, next, create a new virtual disk. Next, so size of the virtual disk, how, like, the size you need to define. So for this, 20 GB is more than enough, and it will take 20 GB from your base machine. Okay, from your Windows 10 machine. So I'm selecting 20 GB for now. Next, and then finish. So server 4, I can see virtual machine is created, but I haven't installed the ISO image. Okay, so I need to select CD DVD and this option use ISO image file, and I need to browse, and I have to locate where the server 16 is available. The server 16 ISO image is available. Okay, so I need to select this one and then open and then okay. Now power on this virtual machine. See, so this option you can do on networking labs. On that, you can just need to play the server. You just need to power on the server. That's it. I'll show you just a second. Let me just complete this configuration and we'll jump into the networking labs. Okay, so next, install now. The same process is going to be for HyperV also. So you need to select Windows Server 2016 standard evaluation. Let me just zoom in this. Okay, so you need to select 2016 standard evaluation desktop experience. Why it is so? Because by selecting this feature, I'll get the graphical user interface, that is GUI. But if I select standard evaluation, in that case, I will get the core server. That is totally depends on if you are having knowledge of PowerShell and command line. In that case, you can install standard evaluation, right? But if we want the graphical user interface, we need to select standard evaluation desktop experience, right? Then next, I accept the license term. Again, next. So upgrade is basically like if you are running 2012 server and you want to upgrade your system to 2016 or 2019 or 2022. In that case, I can use upgrade. But for now, I'm just going to configure a very fresh machine. For that, I need to select custom, and see, you can see the drive which we have created of 20 GB. Okay, then again next, and it will get start installing. Okay, same process for Hyper-V. You need to download the ISO image, and under the that ISO image, what you can do, you can create a virtual machine. This is like same process which we have followed in this VMware, and then you can create your virtual machine accordingly. Okay, and let's talk about networking labs. Mm, where it is? Let me minimize it. Yeah. So you just need to log in into it. See, this is how console will look like. You just need to power on this machine, start, and after starting this, you just need to tap on this server, and you can see it is already installed, and you can just install your services according to your requirement. So it is very straight away process. You need no to download ISO image, and you need no to create a virtual machine. It is basically a very straight process. So I would recommend first to create your virtual machine on VMware or Hyper-V, and after doing this, you can jump into networking labs, right? So if you do not have as much configuration available in your laptop, in that case, definitely you can use these lab options, right? So let me give you example of Hyper-V as well. If someone is using Hyper-V in their machine, so in that case, how you can create virtual machine. So again, you need to select new virtual machine. Next, virtual machine name. Let's suppose you are configuring a DHCP server, right? Again, next, generation 1 or generation 2. So we need to select generation 2. Okay, I'll explain everything, don't worry. Then again, next, so you need to specify the RAM size again. So 1024 is by default selected, but we can change it to 2048. So how you can check the RAM size? So go to taskbar and tap on performance. So under this, you can check how much GB of RAM is available. So already in use, you can see 7.2 GB RAM is used in my case. Okay, so accordingly, I can select. So 4.4 is available, so I can assign around 2048, around 2 GB of RAM. And total, I do have around 12 GB. Okay, so 2048. Then again, next connection for now, you can select default switch. Then again, next. So what it is, you need to specify the hard disk size. Let's suppose you are selecting it as 20 GB. Okay. Then again, next. Then you need to select the ISO image. Okay, browse and then select where the ISO image is. Open, next, and finish. That's it. So DHCP virtual machine is created, you need to right click it and connect. That's it, and start. Okay, so this is how you can configure virtual machine in Hyper-V. See, so installation has been started. Guys, any query till now?
So you can work on both Hyper-V and virtual VMware on the same machine.
Yes, you can do. So
And
I
does
am
that
using, yeah, please.
talk with each other?
No, 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 it will not.
So if you have a virtual machine, you'll be only installing everything on virtual machine
Mm-hmm,
in a real case scenario. And if you have Hyper-V,
mm-hmm.
it will only be going on Hyper-V. Is that right?
Right. So
Okay. What's
Hyper-V is
what?
basically a different entity. It is totally
Yeah,
different.
it's a Microsoft one. Yeah, Hyper-V is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that what's widely used in the market?
Uh, it totally depends on company. Like some companies are using Hyper-V and some are using VMware. But I would recommend to learn VMware, because once you are going for the interview, it is mentioned that you must have knowledge of VMware, or VMware itself running a course of VMware ESXi, right? So I would recommend to configure VMware on your virtual machine.
Do we teach VMware in networkings?
No, yes, I think we do have course of VMware as well. Yes, we do have.
Okay, and how deep that goes to? Like, do you have any idea, or do you take that course?
Oh, actually, I haven't attended any session over there.
Sir, we have a VMware course and BCTA, that data center virtualization, and this network virtualization. However, we have a BCP, that is an advanced certification. So we are an authorized VMware partner. So if anybody interested for that, we can help you with that also.
And that goes up to the VMware's.
Yeah, that is specifically only for the VMware.
Yeah, that goes up to the VMware examination as well. Like whatever the exams VMware takes it. Does
Yeah,
that have
sure.
certification?
Let's have a separate discussion on VMware, sir. Saitya, sir, you can continue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you can see my virtual machine is created. I just need to provide the admin credential. I mean, first time admin credential, which is creating. I just need to select my password here. This is it. So in a very short span of time, what I did, I can create my virtual machine. And it totally depends on the hardware which you are running on your laptop. So if you are running SSDs, in that case, your virtual machine will not take as much time. But if you have some like SATA drives, in that case, it may take a couple of minutes or couple of like extra time it can take. Okay. So I just need to select now, Control Alt Delete, and now I can log in into this server. See. So now how we are going to configure role and services. So go to start menu. There is an option called server manager. Guys, one more thing. Whenever we are going to install any kind of services in our server, in that case, there should be a static IP defined to our server, to our virtual machine. Okay, there must be a static IP.